Hi, I'm Brian Lee. Thank you for purchasing your tools from GAGE BILT. Today, this video will illustrate the simplicity and ease of a complete overhaul on a GAGE BILT tool. The disassembly and reassembly procedure can be accomplished by utilizing the following video instructions. Please have your manual handy to make notes in. Always use extreme care during disassembly and reassembly not to mar or nick any of the surfaces that come in contact with seals. Following common maintenance practices will save you many future headaches. Before installing seals, always use a good lubricant such as Lubriplate to the surfaces. Before overhaul, always put the head piston in the rear position by depressing trigger, then disconnecting air supply. Severe personal injury may occur if air supply is not disconnected.
It is recommended that a GAGE BILT tool kit be used, as it contains all the special tools necessary to facilitate an overhaul. Refer to your manual for proper tool kit number. The first step in disassembling will be removal of the base cover. Use a 1 1/8 box wrench. You may need to secure the handle in a vise, being careful not to over-tighten the vise. Next, holding tool upright, use a 1/8 Allen wrench and remove the 4 button head cap screws. Lift head assembly from handle and remove O-ring and gasket. Empty all hydraulic fluid into a container. Place the piston rod wrench down into the top of power cylinder. Use a rag to cover the top hydraulic hole, as there still may be fluid that could be forced out. Firmly push the air piston to bottom of handle. While holding this wrench, remove flex nut. Use a 7/16 socket wrench. Still holding piston rod wrench along with packing plug wrench, loosen air piston. When loose, completely back out piston rod from air piston. Once air piston is completely freed from piston rod, eject air piston from bottom of tool by pushing piston rod down, or use the power cylinder tool for removal. After removal of air piston, slide piston rod assembly back up to the end of its travel. Use the packing plug wrench and remove the packing plug. Again, you may need to secure handle in vise to loosen. Remove the packing plug and piston rod assembly. Next, insert the power cylinder tool in top of power cylinder. Push down and remove. To disassemble air valve, use a 1/16 pin punch and remove pin. Lightly tap the side of handle with your hand to remove muffler. Insert valve extractor into end of valve plug and pull out. Use the same procedure and pull spool out. If you do not have access to clean air, it may be necessary to remove the valve sleeve. With needle nose pliers, grasp the end of spring. Turn clockwise while pulling to dislodge from groove in casting. A gauge built valve spring tool will facilitate the proper installation of the spring. Insert the valve sleeve removal tool, tighten counterclockwise and remove valve sleeve by pulling. Remove end cap. Push against threaded end of head piston to slide it out of head cylinder, being careful not to damage threads or cause burrs on polished piston. Now that your tool is disassembled, remove all O-rings and backup rings while being careful not to mar or scratch any of the sealing surfaces. When complete, thoroughly wash all components in clean mineral spirits. Inspect all surfaces for nicks and scratches. Replace damaged components. To reassemble the handle, reverse the disassembly procedure, being certain that all O-rings are properly lubricated before installation. Start by installing cylinder head piston into cylinder head, making sure head piston is full forward. Put end cap on and tighten securely. Insert valve sleeve followed by the valve spring. Use valve spring tool to lock spring in place. Make sure spring is secured by pulling it. Replace spool. Replace valve plug. Replace muffler. Reinstall pin. Pin will install freely from one side, then using a hammer, lightly tap into opposite side. Using power cylinder tool, install power cylinder. Lightly tap to seat. Attach the seal guide to the piston rod. Push the piston rod through the packing plug. Install them both into power cylinder and torque packing plug to 45 foot-pounds. Install air piston. Using piston rod wrench, thread piston rod onto air piston, then tighten with packing plug wrench. Still holding piston rod wrench, install flex lock nut, torque to 45 inch-pounds. Thread base cover on, lightly snug with 1 1/8 wrench. Put the piston rod wrench into top of handle, pushing firmly down until completely in the down position. With piston rod in the down position, fill the oil passage and reservoir with automatic transmission fluid ATF 220 or equivalent. Do not overfill, causing oil to get into air passage. When looking at top of handle, the oil passage is the hole that has a counter bore for the S832 O-ring. Replace O-ring and gasket. Apply Loctite 242 and torque the 4 button head cap screws uniformly to 40 inch-pounds to prevent leakage around the gasket.
This completes the overhaul. With a procedure as fast and easy as this was, you can see where Gage Bilt tools will save you time. Again, thank you for buying Gage Bilt tools.